Blackhawks fans, welcome to the newest Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Vitali, and I got my co-host, Skokes. This is brought to you by Breaks Media. Skokes, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good, man. As of right now, recording the night before the draft, we're about 18 hours away from Conor Bedard, so couldn't be better right now.
Yeah, so Bedard season for sure. I'm very, very stoked. So we're going to just jump in right here and talk about some possibilities of where the Blackhawks are taking at 19 and so on and so forth. Mainly going to probably go in for that 19 just because that first round, most important. And once you start getting into those second, third, fourth rounds, I mean, it's like 17-year-old kids, I don't,
Right.
little hard to be doing whatever. So we're going to go to Reddit for this one. Thanks to the old sneaky Pete, he put together a giant, a huge collective of all the hockey publications and where they think or who they think the Hawks are going to take. So we can just go through, TSN, they say Samuel Hanzik. And Ben Pope of the Chicago Sun-Times, also Samuel Hanzik. And for Sportsnet, Sam Cosentino, Gabriel Perreault. For Sportsnet, Jason Bukala, Nate Danielson. Now, I'm going to kick this over to Skokes here. I know more of the NHL more than prospects. Obviously, everyone knows who Conor Bedard is. Adam Fantilli, Michigan. It's always boo Michigan, but besides the point. So, the American prospects, obviously, I'm okay with. Other than that, it starts getting a little crazy. So I'll hop it over to you and whatever you want to say about some of these picks.
Yeah. So taking a look at the NHL mock draft, starting off with Braden Yeager, center. He's a prospect that I don't see being there at 19. Going into the year, he was mocked around a top 10 prospect or a top 10 pick, but he's really dropped his stock this year. He didn't produce as well as he did or as he was projected to. So a little disappointing with just contributing, but he still scored 25 goals, decent totals on the year, but just didn't play up to that level that they thought that he could, and that's why his stock did fall a little there. So he is possible at 19, but I see him going between 10 to 15. So I don't think he's very realistic at 19 for the Hawks. Obviously, taking Bedard at number one, right? We need some size in the pipeline, man. I love Colton Dach. Saw him at prospect camp last year. He's like 6'3", 6'4", plays really well down the middle, man, for center. And I don't see him as that top six player, and we do need a 2C, obviously, down the road. I would love for Colton Dach to be that 3 or 4C later on, but drafting some bigger bodies. Calum Ritchie with Flow Hockey with Chris Peters. I think he's also Chicago-based.
Oh, nice.
So Calum Ritchie, he's also a center. I believe he's 6'2", 6'3". Decent offensive game. I don't love his defensive game, though, and I know GM Kyle Davidson, KD, right? He's looking for more size down the middle, and Calum Ritchie, I just don't see him as that complete prospect yet. pretty rough around the edges, just all around game. It's not as polished as we would want it to be, right?
For sure.
Uh, yeah,
I
and
think with people like, and when you're getting into like these late round picks in the second
mhm,
round, I don't really think you're expecting them to jump right in.
no,
And I know the CHL NHL agreement is really, really rough. And, as much as I don't want to see Korchinski like back in the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds, I think he's unfortunately going to have to go back with that first 9 games. So, when if the Hawks do choose Richie because he is a big body, maybe he'll go back to junior, refine that, and then when he's eligible, come to the A. A is one of the more competitive leagues in the world, honestly.
mhm,
Probably the second best in the world. Maybe the KHL, but get him into Rockford, and then it's going to be smooth sailing from there. Get him some chemistry with the other guys. So definitely something to think about. I mean, these are kids. At the end of the day, just plain and simple, 17, 18 years old, and it's going to take a while. So you see like the NBA or MLB. Maybe the MLB not so much, just because they have triple, double, single A, and you can really churn a lot of prospects through that. But, definitely for sure, I think some of these guys are going to have some noticeable flaws. But just as they mature into men, they're going to be really, really good. So I do like that. I love the big body because last episode I mentioned, it's overcorrection and when goons, small, speedy, puck possession, skill, and now it's bad. Obviously not goons, but like Tom Wilson. He's a great middle six player. Other than he'll also take your head off. So
right.
we want to get those big bodies. Exactly like your Colton Docks, Kevin Korchinski, Nolan Allen, Ethan Del Mastro. I want to say
Master.
all of those guys are 6'3" or above, and so
Hmm.
they're big boys. Seth Jones 6'3", but he's a little
Right.
soft, so um,
Hmm.
not really into that. But the size is there, but I do see the need for size in because then you want to look at last year's draft, 8 players taken, Gavin Hayes, Paul Ludwinski, all those guys, a little on the smaller side, 5'10", kind
Right.
of ratty Andrew Shaw types. So like they're going to be really good in their roles, middle six, like a third liner, like Shazi was. So I think that's going to be really, really good. But yeah, man. So if you got anything more on Richie, I can't even find this guy in Elite Prospects.
Mhm,
It's
right.
Cullum,
Uh,
Cull?
Calum. Calum. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm. Right. Calum Ritchie. Hmm.
And that's like Nick Ritchie, Ritchie.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Hmm.
I will
Yeah.
find this guy if it's the last thing I do.
Hmm. Yep. I believe he played in Oshawa. Um,
Cool.
yeah. So I could take a look at. Let's see. The number one name that's most popular on most mock drafts right now is Samuel Hanzik, which is getting a lot of buzz right now, especially for our number 19 pick. He's 6'4". Um, he's mocked anywhere between 15 to 25, but over the last few weeks, he's really boosted his stock. Mainly due to the NHL Combine. Uh, there were a lot of workout videos, just very impressive. Uh, his film is, I mean, he's super fluid. He knows where to score in front of the net. He has a great shot. A bit more polished on defense. A little more than what was his name before Richie,
Yeah.
but just a big body, very good skater. GMKD, he said we want guys that can skate. You know, um, similar to our recent drafts with Korchinski 6'3", Del Mastro 6'4". I mean, these guys can move. Nolan Allen, I mean, they can skate, and to have someone like, um, what's his name, Hanzik, he can play center, left wing, but just super fluid, man. A really smooth skater, very impressive. I think if we miss out on him, it's going to be by one or two picks, either like the Red Wings, the Flames, or the Jets,
Hmm.
right ahead of the Hawks at 19. I think they might snag him up right before us, so that would be a little disappointing.
Sounds like a Flames player, so I would be worried
Right,
about that.
right. Yeah, he's definitely a big body player. Very impressive tape, man. If I pull up his totals from last year, he had 56 total points in 43 games, 23 goals, and 33 assists. So, very impressive in the WHL. So, coming over from Slovakia
Yes.
and putting up those numbers in his first year in a Canadian league. I mean, that's super impressive, especially at that size. Like, just getting used to that size ice, because I don't believe that the regulation size ice is the same as the
International?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, much bigger.
Yeah, much bigger regulation size. So just to see that contribution in the first year is awesome from a
Yeah.
foreign player.
Well, I pulled up his elite prospects page because I just wanted to take a gander, and it looks like when he was 17 years old, he was
Hmm.
playing in Slovakia's uh, A League, their top league. So he's
Right.
17 playing against men,
Hmm.
and 49 games played, 14 points. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
And you want to talk about a big body, 6'4". This guy is huge.
Hmm.
6'4", 185, and he's just 18.
185. Exactly.
And he's going to pack on muscle. He'll get into those dirty areas. He'll go get the puck.
Hmm.
I think that I like that a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, he's super impressive, man. Playing in Vancouver, so that would be funny if we drafted him at 19.
It
Obviously,
would.
Connor Bedard's from Vancouver, and I don't know, maybe they've bumped heads a few times in the
For sure.
WHL. So that would be awesome. That would be
Yeah,
awesome to have him
yeah.
there.
That is I'm digging it.
Hmm.
I'm in.
Right.
And yeah, Callum Ritchie, 6'2", 187.
Hmm.
He's I like those. I like the Team Canada players, the World Juniors.
Hmm. Right.
I'm a big fan. I always like to watch it on the NHL Network,
Hmm.
which is really nice that they get that out to us. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I and this is also all assuming that at the Blackhawks are going to stay at 19. Now I've seen
Hmm.
a lot of articles with Kyle. He's been saying that will he move up? Maybe. Will he move down? Maybe. He has four second round picks,
Hmm.
and he's like, if I'm going to take all those, so be it. There's not really there. There is that 50 contract limit that you kind of have to worry about. So you're going to want that talent coming in waves. So maybe
Right.
bundle those, get into the first round. Late like 28 or something, and
Hmm.
maybe you can get another player such as an Andrew Cristal. So maybe you go with, or maybe you want to swap that. Maybe some of these big guys fall later, and you get the
Hmm.
skill up front. So maybe you get a Braden Yeager, say, with the skill.
Right.
I've seen a lot of guys peg him at in Nashville though, and he seems kind of like a Nashville player, if I'm being
Hmm.
honest. Not a
Right.
not a Nashville guy, obviously, but
No.
um, wouldn't I wouldn't that doesn't surprise me from the toolkit that it's been told to me. It seems like he would be a good fit over there, which is unfortunate. But so this is all just saying, this is just at 19. So
Hmm.
I'm digging it, man.
Right. Uh, and I'm seeing a lot of Nate Danielson, man.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of hype with him. He's mocked going around like 12 to 16. So if there's one player that I would want for the Hawks to have at 19, I mean, if I had to choose one guy, it has to be Nate Danielson. He is just so smooth, man. Last season in the WHL with the Brandon Wheat Kings, 78 points in 68 games, 33 goals and 45 assists. I mean, super productive, man. Just that's about a 20-point increase from the year before. So
yeah,
obviously he took a big step, and that's what you want to see, especially like in your draft year, like like going back to Bedard, he had a 40-point boost from 100 points going to like 143.
yeah,
So I mean, obviously you're not going to catch that total, but if you're increasing your totals by 20 points, I mean, you're playing the right way, and you're scoring goals, man.
yeah. And what I like to see there too is he had the C on his chest last year, so that
Right.
shows leadership, poise. They didn't make the playoffs last season.
Hmm.
So, the season before they did make the playoffs and he was a half a point a game player. So it not going to say ice in his veins or clutch, but
Hmm.
maybe certainly he could go that way.
Right. Yeah. He definitely has some good speed. Also, not only does he skate, smooth, but he has a great shot, especially from like middle circle, top of the circle on power plays. I mean that's exactly what we need right now in the pipeline, right? Just having that
Yes.
guy that could just rip it. But like if it's coming from Connor, if it's coming from Taylor Hall, if you're on the top of the circle, man, just rip it, and
We
he'll definitely
we need
shoot.
finishers. We need
Right,
finishers for sure.
right.
I would say Hawks definitely. The league in general, I think, is almost lacking a finishing touch,
Mm-hmm.
um, which kind of weird. I mean, goals have been going up just a touch,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, I like uh, you got Conor Bedard. He's more of a finisher
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of a facility in there as well. Um, and so him dishing to Danielson with the shot at the
Mm-hmm.
at the circle, at the top of the circle, in that high danger zone. You're gonna just go top cheese. Everyone wins. I like that.
Right. Yep. He would be perfect, perfect fit. Whether he transfers over to winger or he's stays at center, I could see him playing at both positions. Like he's 6'1", 6'2", around 187 right now. But obviously, um, coming into the NHL or even the first year in the AHL, I mean, you are gonna bulk up definitely. So he's gonna get some size, and we're rolling from there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are plenty of good places to eat in Rockford, so it'll be
Right.
a steady Italian beef deep dish pizza
Hmm.
summer. Get them bulked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. There's no problem getting some size on. Not at
Yeah,
all.
so I've heard this guy. I'm gonna butcher his name.
Hmm.
His name is like Kerpa. Um, sorry, let me. Kerpa Otsatsa. Have you heard about this guy at all?
Um.
I haven't heard his name. I just there's a hockey like a nerd stats guy that I
Hmm.
follow, and Jay Fresh on Twitter, and he did his own final mock draft. And I mean, it's first of all, it's just all over the place. He has Leo Carlsson going 2 and David Randbacker going 3. Which is just something I can't really see.
No.
I think if it's not Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, Mitchkov, I think you're going to have to start firing people. uh,
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I I don't think that's I I don't think he's a first round prospect. I don't think I've heard of him recently, but he might be just like a spoofed kind of mock draft, where he just places him
oh,
in the
it's like
first round.
fake. It's all fake.
It
He's
could
trolling
be.
us.
Yeah, I have not heard his name
Yeah,
recently.
I don't think this guy exists. So I think I just got had.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
happens
mean,
to the best of us.
yeah, and the names are hard to learn, but I don't think I've heard him. No, man. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you know what? It's Finnish,
Oh, really?
and it's a it is really vulgar. So I'm not going to say that.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. So
Oh, I see.
I just cursed in Finnish on this
Really?
podcast. So I don't think there are a lot of Finns in the Chicagoland area. So I'm going to
Hmm.
let it go.
Yeah, we were set up on it, but it's all right.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
okay.
walked right into that.
Hmm. Um, let's see. For someone that I really do like, last year, pre-draft, obviously, but I wouldn't love the Hawks taking him at 19 if he was available, which is Gabe Perreault from
Hmm.
the U.S. development program. I mean, super skilled player, man. He had 45 points in 23 games, 19 goals, 26 assists. But I don't see him even being available at 19 because that skill is. I mean, he is an excellent skater, excellent scorer, plays a two-way game, just a great player all around, and he's definitely going to be gone by 19 anyways, but I wouldn't love the Hawks taking him at 19 if he was available, due, due, due to the size also, because he's around 5'10", 5'11", and, we're obviously overflowing with guys that same size right now. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't love that at
Oh,
19.
I'm looking at his elite prospects. He's a local kid. He played Mission, and then
Hmm.
he went to looks like the USHL. His NTDP National Team
Hmm.
Development Program year, unbelievable. He's
Yeah.
like 2 points per game. 63 games played, 132 points.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like that guy.
Right. Yeah. Super skilled, man. Super skilled player, but I just don't see him being available at 19 either. Uh, he'll definitely get snagged up.
Definitely, definitely.
Yep.
And he is also the son of Yannick Perreault,
Right.
who
Yep.
he was a
Former
good
Hawk.
player.
Yep.
Yeah. And I want to say, um, is Yannick Perreault an agent right now? Do you know?
Um, I don't think he's been involved recently, but I know, years back, but I have not heard anything recently.
I heard a
Um,
tidbit about him. I forgot who it was, but they were saying that like, oh, he might be a good ambassador for this team to get his
mhm.
son over there. Because I thought he might
Really?
have worked for he works for a national league team now.
Hmm.
That's okay. We can pick that
Yeah.
up later. That's just Yannick Perreault, good player, former Hawk. His son is getting drafted, which is a little weird, but it's
Hmm.
everyone gets older.
Right. Uh, I guess just like finishing off the mock drafts, do you see us taking a defenseman, like possibly because there are two guys that would be available at 19, whether it's Dmitry Simishev,
Okay.
6'4".
Whoa.
He's a left-handed defenseman, 200 pounds. I mean, really skates well, but we are super backed up, man, with left-handed defensemen.
Definitely.
If he was right-handed and if he was the best available at that time, right?
Right.
I think they would take a shot at him because he would be a right-handed defenseman. But we are super log-jammed with lefties right now. One more name, like Mikhail Gulyayev. I believe he's also Russian, 5'10", defenseman, so a little on the smaller side. But
Yeah.
every team has small defensemen, and maybe we could use a highly skilled defenseman, speedy guy. He really loves shooting from the point, but I just don't see us going defenseman at 19, or if it's even
I
in that first round.
I really don't either, if I'm being
No.
honest. I just think, like you said, with the log jam of defensive prospects. I mean, we have Vlasic, Phillips, Roos,
Right.
um, Korchinski, Del Mastro. I mean, I can go on
Nolan
for
Allen.
unfortunate
Right.
Nolan Allen, right?
Hmm.
Sam Renzel. Like, these
Right.
are and I get the moving the puck well and everything, because as you saw with the Vegas Golden Knights, back end all above 6'3", all skate well, all move the puck really well. But like when you're looking at like Shea Theodore is your smallest defenseman, he's shifty, he's good, he's offensive, he's dynamic.
Hmm.
I'm not entirely sure you're going to be getting a prospect in that range that's going to
Right.
develop into that. Because when you think of, like, say, a Yoki Haru or a Boquist,
Hmm.
I think Boquist was in the mid-teens and Yoki Haru was in the mid-20s.
Hmm.
Um, those, are they good players? Yes. Are they NHLers? Yes. But
Hmm.
are they contributing in a way that will make them win, their respective teams win? It's not
Hmm.
really looking like that. I've
No.
been I've been scoping the Buffalo Sabres subreddit, because they have a lot of U.S. players,
Hmm.
USNTDP players, and I really
Yeah.
like that style of hockey. Obviously I'm an American, so I like American hockey, and
Hmm.
they have their fans are not fans of Yoki Haru. They want him out already, and
Really.
so it's they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to do the top six defensemen, and then it's like Yoki Haru is seven or on the bottom pair. So I think unfortunately his welcome is kind of wearing out. So I think there's that the Bonk, Oliver Bonk.
Oliver Bonk. Yep.
He's also a defensive prospect that might be available in that area.
Hmm. Right.
Besides, a hilarious name and a very fun name to say.
Right.
I don't think it's time, because you
Hmm.
want those waves of talent, and right now we have a tsunami of defensemen. So I
Right.
think we really, really need to get that.
Hmm.
Get those
The
forwards,
forwards.
skilled
Yeah.
forwards.
Yeah.
Just get them in, and because it's all about Conor Bedard. Conor
Hmm.
Bedard needs players to play with, and
Right.
if you're big and you can skate and move the puck, that's awesome. But
Hmm.
if you can't keep up with Bedard, or if your passing is a little lackluster, or you don't have good finish, I just don't see a spot for you on this team.
No.
Obviously, the Ice Hogs, they need players, and
Hmm.
so maybe it ends up that way. But yeah, I really like I really like what we said, and
Hmm.
I'm really really leaning towards that Danielson as long as he's available.
Right.
Uh,
Yep. It's gonna be close. Uh, Tonight, because this is coming out on Wednesday, so the draft will be later at 6 p.m. Central Time. So
yeah,
uh, the first overall pick should be around 6:15, 6:20 ish. Because there's a lot of introductions and a lot of show going on. But
yeah,
15, 20 minutes in, then yeah, the first pick should get underway, and names are gonna start flying off the board, man.
yeah. I'm
We'll
I'm
see.
really excited. There are a lot of rumors flying around where Mitchkov is going to go,
Hmm.
and as I stated before, I think obviously the top four is going to be Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, Mitchkov.
Hmm.
But if for whatever reason San Jose determines that they don't want Mitchkov, they want someone else, maybe like a Leonard or a Zach Benson or a Will
Hmm.
Smith. Um, I just think where Mitchkov goes really is going to dictate how this draft is going to go. It's
Yeah.
gonna, if someone, because if then people are going to be, you know, uh, taking guys that a little earlier or whatever, and
Hmm.
as you've seen today, there's so many trades going across the boards.
Hmm.
I assume the draft day there's going to be even more trades to get
Yeah.
assets to get players because of the depth of the forwards in this draft.
Hmm.
Um, but I think we did. I think we did well. I'm really
Hmm.
really stoked. Um, I want a big dude. I want a mean dude, and
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
want some size and I want some skill to go along with the players that we've got right now.
Right. Uh, just to rattle off like a quick prediction, like
Yeah,
if we can see Nate Danielson, let's go with Samuel Hanzik and Quinton Musty, which we didn't get to today, but that's okay. But he's around 6'2", 6'3". He's a winger, super nifty with the puck in the corner, like pops it right out to the front of the net. He knows when someone's there. Super, super good facilitator. Quinton Musty from the Sudbury Wolves. But
Wolves. Yeah,
yeah, so if we could see one of those three for a bigger body forward, then I would be very, very happy with that
yeah. I
tonight.
like that. I like that Quentin Musty guy for
Right.
sure. For sure. He's got a lot of skill,
Hmm.
and I think that would
Right.
uh, benefit the team obviously. So I think we're gonna. I know. I'll just end it with this here then.
Hmm.
I was listening to the PDO cast, and I think I was telling you off cam, and this is Dmitry Filipovich and Cam Robinson, and they were saying they were discussing what attributes they were looking for in their players, the picks that they were going to take, and they
Hmm.
said originally it was skating and hockey IQ. And Dimitri was saying that's what Cam Robinson was saying. Yeah, I love skating and hockey IQ, and Dimitri was like, yeah, those are my two main things as well.
Hmm.
But they've said that as time goes on, the skating factor isn't really that much of a difference maker. Not that it's not much of a difference maker. It's just not as important because if you have a hockey IQ, well, I'll say
Hmm.
that 5 times fast. Like like a Mark Stone. Mark Stone has never been known for his skating ever in his
Hmm.
life. People would probably even look at him and say that he's a bad skater. But
Hmm.
his hockey IQ is so high, he knows exactly where he needs to go. He knows how to make those strides count and where to be on the ice so that he could strip the puck and then go in and get a shot on goal, get a chance.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely. So for the Hawks, size, obviously it's going to probably be hockey IQ, size, skating.
Hmm. Really quick, just relating to like the current Hawks right now. I just found out a few months ago, without even knowing, having guys with size, two guys on the current roster, Jason Dickinson, which plays center 2 through 4, right? I mean, he could play any position really. he was a first round pick back in the day, and you're saying, he doesn't have to be a great skater, but if you have that hockey IQ, man, and you're making plays out there, you could survive for a long time out here. And one more guy on the defensive end, I had no idea, but Jared Tenorti was a first round pick. I mean, can you believe that, man?
No, I can't.
Jared Tenorti, people are cutting him, they're just waving him, they're kicking him out of the team, but we pick him up, and now we see why he was that first round pick. I mean, he plays big body hockey. He's 6'6". I mean, he has a great shot. Just crazy to see
He's
that.
a warrior. He is a warrior,
right.
Pure warrior.
And that's that first round caliber, man. I mean, that's that first round talent. It's just crazy stuff to see.
Yeah. That's. I really like his game, and I like what he brings, because that's the type. He's leading by example. He's making the big hits. He's taking the shots. That he's doing the shot blocks, and if you're on the bench and you're not enamored with that, you're not fired up. You're just stone cold, not human, a robot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's a monster.
But hey, Blackhawks fans, thank you so much for joining us here at the Chicago Blackhawks Hockey Central podcast, brought to you by Breaks Media. I'm Joe Vitali. That's Skokes, and we got plenty of more content for you guys. So this is going to be dropping on Wednesday, draft day, Bedard season, and I think we're going to have a really great day, really great time at the draft, and go Hawks.
Let's go Hawks.